What's up, dudes? Welcome back, or welcome if it is your first time here. Today we are doing another build video in The Sims 4. Today we are doing an A-frame cabin build, and this is the first time I had ever done an A-frame cabin build, and honestly it was a lot easier than I thought it would be. However, I have already filmed this video once. My mic got corrupted, so the audio was literally unsavable, which was so irritating. But I'm giving it another crack today, and hopefully this one turns out better. Fingers crossed. But let's get into it. We are starting off in the Moonwood Mill world, which comes with werewolves, and this is the shell that I was building. So in the day that I was building this, I had already attempted to do an A-frame cabin already, and it didn't really go well. So I was just trying to get to grips with like how to do the whole A-frame cabin thing, and I think I finally got it figured out. But basically I didn't want my shell to be just like a complete square. I wanted it to be a bit different so that it wouldn't look quite so boxy and quite so like, because A-frame cabins in The Sims can look really like big and just like really like wide, and I didn't want that. So I made sure that it was kind of like a good size. It only ends up being 1 bedroom, but I do end up putting a bassinet in this build, so you can bring like your baby here. But it has a nice little like balcony. It's only a small balcony that I use for like a creativity area. And basically what I'm doing is I'm taking one half gabled roof piece and I'm like matching up the I don't know what it's called, but the angle of it, I'm like matching it up to the one above, and then all I'm doing is like copying and pasting it. And as long as I have like a 2 wide gap that my roof can go in, everything is matching up perfectly. I was playing around with this roof here because I don't know, I didn't like the way that it was just abruptly stopping at the middle end roof piece, so I was trying to play around with it. I do end up removing the overhang that I've just added to it, and I'm going in with some doors and windows from Seasons. I just thought that it would really fit this like log cabin kind of vibe, which is the vibe we are going for. We're going for more sort of like a woodsy vibe, sort of like it's like a retreat, but I don't know, like what people go to like fish. I've never done anything like that. I don't even know if we have that sort of thing in England. But yeah, I'm just going in with some big old Seasons windows, and this is going to be the front of my build. And honestly, I think it turned out pretty good. I don't know why I keep clicking the caps lock. Honestly, the other day we were playing Minecraft and I was in a mine shaft, and monsters, like literally so many monsters were coming at me. And it's the first time that I've really been playing it like on my computer. Like normally I'd play it on the PlayStation. And I was just there like trying to shift, so I was trying to crouch behind my shield, but I kept caps locking them. I kept just hitting the caps lock, and then I died like 10 times. Genuinely about 10 times, and Cameron had to come and save me. It was not my finest work, and honestly it was very embarrassing. But yeah, I think if I'd have made this build any bigger, I just think it would have looked like so boxy and just so like just not enjoyable. So it does end up only being 1 bedroom, and I do sort of like make it kind of like lofted so that this part is open to the downstairs. You can see I kind of messed up with the fences, so I just had to remove them. But yeah, it ends up being so open to the downstairs, so then I can't really put any rooms back there where the lofted area is, otherwise you'll be able to see over like the ceiling and into them. So like if I put a bathroom there or something, you'll be able to see people going to the toilet, which I don't really want. So yeah, I put it up on a foundation as well, and I was running into a bit of an issue with my roofing because obviously roofing doesn't have a foundation. So all I was doing was adding a platform, and you just put the platform around, and the thing with platforms is it will give you like a platform on top of a foundation, and then as long as you just click that little arrow button down, the platform will go and you'll essentially just have a foundation. So that's what I was doing. I was just putting that around. I nearly just knocked my water over. I was just putting that around everywhere, just so that nothing looked like it was like weirdly floating. And you can see I just fixed that roof in, and I decided to add a back balcony. I go ahead and like shrink it down quite significantly because it's not meant to be like a very luxurious place. It's definitely meant to be more of like a small quaint retreat in the middle of the woods, even though you could probably just see like the bar over there from the Moonwood Mill world. So I'm just playing around with the Seasons windows and just trying to figure out like where I want them to go. The good thing with Seasons is that like all of the wood swatches match, so you've got like matching doors and a bunch of different matching windows and matching spandrels and matching fences and matching stairs, and everything matches, and it's all happy days. And that's what makes happy simmers, is because nothing is not matching. So I also went in with the Seasons foundation and Seasons wallpaper. It's just that paneling. I think it looks really like wood cabiny. I really like it. And I did go in with a metal roof to start off with, but then I tried it in this mossy like brick from Werewolves, and honestly that is when the build just clicked for me. Like I honestly just like was obsessed with that mossy roof texture. Honestly, I love it so much. I end up going in with a base game wood. Normally I use like a cats and dogs or cottage living. They're like my favourite woods, but I just caps locked again. But I ended up going in with like a base game one. I wanted it to be like very dark. Like I wanted it to be like very cozy. Like you can imagine like sitting by the fire for warmth. Like it doesn't have central heating, even though I definitely had a thermostat into this place. But it just meant to be a bit more like cozy, like remind you of like, I don't know, like the fire. And I added a chimney onto here. And I use the Seasons stone again because it matches the foundation perfectly. And I think I went in with like a cats and dogs chimney because it's like my favourite. I tried the Seasons one to start off with, but it's just way too freaking small for my liking. So I went in with the cats and dogs one because honestly it's just my favourite chimney. The funny thing is though is that when I do the interior, I put the actual fireplace on the wrong side. So at the end I do go ahead and like swap the chimney over because yeah, I had put it on the wrong side. But honestly it wasn't that much of a hassle because like I just moved the one room over, and then when I picked up the room that has the half walls and the chimney, the whole thing just came with me, so I didn't even have to replace the chimney. So that was pretty perfect. You can see I'm just messing around with the Season stairs here. I was trying to see what matched the best, what looked the best. And I decided that the wooden stairs just really fit this vibe a lot better. Like I've mentioned like 100 million times, we're going for log cabin vibes. Say it with me everyone, log cabin. And I did also run into this issue on the interior. You can see some of the walls are painted with that wood paneling. I hadn't painted them. It's because of the roofing. So when you have just a roof and it's next to a wall, the wall will take on like the roof paint. So the exterior of the roof is painted with that wood paneling, obviously to make it look like an A-frame cabin. So on the inside, some of the areas were already painted like that. And if I try and change that colour to say like a white paint, for example, then the roof will have white paint on it. So you can't change one without changing the other. And that is one thing that's really annoying about playing around with roofing like this, is you do sort of have to be okay with whatever's on the outside being on the inside or vice versa. And for me in this build, it worked fine because obviously I'm going for that log cabin vibe. So I wanted it to be wood on the inside anyway. But in a normal build, it would drive me insane. There's like a lot of times when I've been doing a build and the roof paint will come inside and I'll try and fix it and I can't fix it, and honestly it just stresses me out. In this example though, it was fine. You can see that I just went around and played with a bunch of Seasons furniture. I was trying to get it to work. Seasons is a newer pack for me, and I'm not gonna lie, there's a lot of stuff that I don't love in it. I bought it mainly for the actual weather, for the actual seasons, but also because like little Simsy and stuff always rave about how much they love the Seasons furniture. I personally don't think it's very great. Anyway, I'm going in with that bed from Growing Together, and as soon as I saw that swatch of that particular bed, it clicked, and I was just like, we're going red, that's what we're doing. And I used the new Growing Together wardrobe, which I think is so freaking cute, and I put a little suitcase in here as well because I wanted it to seem like, you know, you were coming here for like your travels, like maybe this is like your off-season home, because I also put like a decor box in here for like putting up decorations. I don't know why I just clicked, but for like putting up decorations. So yeah, I'm picturing this as like your off-season home. I don't really know what that means, but that's what it is. I saw this grandfather clock and it really just like fit in with it, so I put that there. I tried messing around with this werewolf clock. I do actually end up putting it in at the end of the build because like towards the end of the build I definitely get more werewolvesy, whereas at the minute I'm trying to decorate it or furnish it very sort of like, I guess, cutesy, but then I do start going in a more sort of like actual like log cabin werewolvesy direction. Like I make it look quite run down by the end of it, which I actually quite like. See, a funny thing happens now though, and it's not with the Plum Bob fan. I put this fan in and I immediately put a light into the fan, yeah, because I want it to be like a sort of like one of those like fan light built-in things. Again, we don't really have them in England because it's always cold here, apart from at the minute it's been so freaking hot. But anyway, so I put a light in there now, you'll just have seen it. But then I put another light in there later on because I had completely forgot that I'd put a light in there. So there's just 2 lights in there, and they're just sort of like glitching out a little bit, but you can't really even tell. But yeah, I just found that kind of funny that I just put like 2 lights in the same fan and I just completely forgot about it. I was going in with those Blooming Room Kits curtains because honestly, I'm obsessed. I really like them. I think they add a lot of like life to a build, but in this example, I didn't like putting them like everywhere because I thought it was a bit weird. But now I'm just trying to figure out where to put the bathroom, because it was at this point that I realised that the upstairs was very, very, very small and you could not fit a bathroom there. And then also we had obviously that lofted area. So I was like, okay, let me just move this door over and I'll add a bathroom there. So it's a 1 bedroom, 1 bathroom. I'm trying to mimic that window, and I used too big of a window on the bottom so you can see I sort of like fix it and I recreate like the bigger windows but singular. So you can see that I'm doing the bathroom, and you can see the wood paneling wall in the bathroom. I actually didn't want that to be there. Again, that's the roof, so I couldn't make it stone. Like, I just caps locked again but I couldn't make it stone like I wanted to make it, so it was wood paneling. But yeah, that's fine. But so I'm going in with the bathroom stuff now, and I end up using like a ton of Seasons in this build because firstly it just fits, and also the bathroom stuff from Seasons, I really, really like it. I think it's so cute. At this point, you'll tell I didn't have Spa Day or Snowy Escape or the movie Hangout stuff. So this was before I'd bought those packs. So I didn't have any of the like Snowy Escape bathroom stuff. Otherwise, I probably would have used that because like that pack is slowly becoming my favourite. It's so cute. So yeah, I'm just doing like a full Seasons bathroom. We've got the Seasons bathtub. We've got the Seasons toilet. We've got the Seasons sink. We do not have a shower in this build, which would be a little bit annoying for gameplay because when they bath, they take so freaking long. But because I do picture there being a dog here, and I also picture there being a baby here, I think a bathtub is necessary instead of just having a shower, because you're going to need to bath your toddler and you're going to need to bath your dog. I put these like laundry day wicker baskets on the balcony because I just thought they like, I don't know, I thought they fit the vibe. Like laundry day is gonna do wonders here because like it's very rustic. I put some washing on the bed to make it look a bit more lived in, like someone needs to put the washing away. And then I'm just going in with some furnishings for the bathroom. It's pretty basic stuff, just like some towels, some like bath supplies, some more towels, because I thought there'd be like a lot of storage here, like there'd be a lot of things in like baskets and stuff like that, because it's not like your home that you live in every single day. It's a place that you visit maybe like 6 months of the year. I go in with those blinds. I do end up changing the colour later on because I didn't like them, but this is when I started going in with like some of that like disrepair stuff, and honestly like I really like the way it looked. That sounds a bit weird to like really enjoy putting like the cracks and stuff in your build, but I think it just added a lot of character to this one, especially in some places, because there's like where I put like a broom on the wall and I put like scratches behind it to make it look like the wallpaper's been like scratched every time you put the broom back and stuff like that. I think it just adds like a little bit more of a story to it, honestly, and I really like it. I'm just using this rug from City Living. Honestly, it's not my favourite rug, but it's a fluffy rug and I love a fluffy rug. I don't think a fluffy rug would be good in an actual bathroom. Like, I can't imagine that it would go well if it constantly gets wet, but it'd be soft. Oh, I'd love a fluffy rug. We kind of have a fluffy rug in the bedroom, but it's kind of been a bit ruined because Lily's been sick on it quite a few times, so you probably didn't need to know that. But I'm just messing around with lighting now. I'm getting a headache from having my hair up. But I'm just messing around with lighting, seeing what will work. There's like a bunch of different light options from Seasons, but honestly, I don't really love them. But I do try it. And I ended up going in with these like Blooming Room Kit lights. I like them. They're not my favourite, like the Blooming Room Kit lights, but I think they're cute enough. Like, they're cute to sort of like hang around. I've been using them a lot in my builds recently, to be honest, because I just like the planty element of them. But now I'm just looking for a plant that I can put in here. And yeah, I was going to say that one's too big there, Kate. You can't have that in there. But yeah, I want this build to be somewhat planty. I just realised I put light switches in. Did I remember to put them in the rest of the house? But yeah, now I'm just looking for something to put on that wall. You can see I tried putting ivy. I decided against it. I was looking through the wall decor stuff and I came across this butterfly vent, and honestly I don't think I've ever used it before, but I just felt like this was the build for it. This was the build that you'd have a butterfly vent. I just think it looks really, really cute. And yeah, I've been trying to make it as well so I don't just have like saucer lights everywhere. I've been trying to actually add in like proper lighting, like what you'd have in an actual house. Because like in my living room, like now, I have a ceiling light, yeah, but I mainly have like lamps and stuff. Like I only ever have like saucer lights in like the bathroom or the kitchen. So I've been trying to add in actual more like light sources, like lamps and wall sconces and stuff like that. And I think it's been making my builds look a bit more like cozy and a bit like better. I think the lighting adds a lot. But anyway, I'm going in with these cottage living counters and island, and we're making a pretty big kitchen, to be honest, especially for sort of like a home away from home area. And I'm going in with some bar stools from Cats and Dogs, and I'm using that old timey like stove from Base Game. Honestly, that's one of my favorites. And I'm going in with this like wooden fridge from Cottage Living, and obviously a smoke detector. I think I put like a thermostat on the wall now, even though I've just said before that I don't want this place to have central heating. I'm guessing we're having central heating. I'm using the Cottage Living like stove hood as well, or like range hood, whatever it's called. I think that's cute. And I'm also going in with some Cottage Living upper counters or upper cabinets, just to make it look a bit more like bustling, a bit more like, I don't know. I don't think you need a lot of storage here because obviously it's like a home away from home. But you can see I'm like playing around with the swatches. I really couldn't decide what colour I wanted these cabinets and counters to be, but I do settle on this like dark wood. And I also add in a pet to this build, and obviously it could be a cat, but I definitely designed this for a dog. Like I'm fairly certain I had a dog bed under the stairs at some point, but you've got like their food bowl in the wall, but obviously you only need one bowl in the Sims. But to make it realistic, I added 2. And I'm going in with these growing together little curtains. I changed my mind on them though, and I end up going with these really nice like red and black plaid ones from Cats and Dogs. I actually really like the ones from Cats and Dogs. I feel like they make it look very like rustic, and it just really fits, I think, with the style that I was trying to go for. Like it's really like I don't know, I feel like Outdoor Retreat would have looked really good here. I don't have Outdoor Retreat, but I've seen a lot of the stuff, and they have a lot of that like red plaid stuff like in the bed swatches and that. So I'm just adding a little bit of clutter to this kitchen. Like I mentioned, it's not going to be like too cluttered, because like it's not going to be that you'll live here all the time. But I thought that like that thing from Parenthood looked kind of like a wooden like dish rack. It's kind of funny because I did add in a microwave and a coffee maker. And then I added in those like tea things as like decoration, but I forgot to add the coffee maker back. So there's not actually any coffee maker, but there's a lot of stuff to make coffee with. I added in those little things from the free holiday kit, those little like pine trees in little mason jars. I know they're meant to be like for like winter, but I just think they're so cute. I add in some little like milk things by the front door just for like clutter. I add in this little plate that someone could have like drawn on. I think it's just cute. And I went around and put a bunch of pumpkins everywhere because I don't know, it was just giving me fall vibes, even though we're pretty far away from fall. I wish it was autumn right now because it's so hot. But yeah, I just went around with like a bit of clutter. Like I went in with this like seasoned storage box just to again make it look a bit like you're just sort of like storing stuff here, like you're not like fully unpacked. But also I wanted it to be like quite rustic and quite almost like old-timey, if that makes sense. So yeah, we're just going in with a bunch of little clutter things. These things from Cottage Living look so good here, like the little like wooden why am I blanking on it? The tea set. I also added in the little umbrella stand because I'm guessing it's going to rain a lot here. And I put in that fruitcake stand. I don't think I've ever actually used it before, but it fits well. I did play around with the idea of adding in a radiator, but I decided against it. Now we're going in with a big old chimney with a big old fireplace. And you can see it's on the opposite side to where I put the chimney, so good work, Kate. But I really love this fireplace. This is from Cottage Living. And it is like right by the front door, so when you first walk in you've got this like beautiful like cozy living room. So it's meant to be like really like inviting. I had some box of cozies in the living room, in the bedroom. You're gonna need a lot of blankets here. Like I mentioned, I envision it not having central heating. Again, I don't know who put that thermostat there, but I envision it not having central heating, so I imagine you're gonna have to have a lot of blankets and like a lot of like logs on the fire and stuff. I used this sofa from Werewolves, which honestly I think I've only ever used once before because it is quite like tattered up, which wasn't necessarily the vibe, but also I didn't want anything to be like too proper. I did want it to be a bit like rustic, so I ended up using it, and I actually really like the way that it looks here. Like it doesn't look too like worn down. It just looks a bit like an old sofa. I really like it. And I use that chair from Cats and Dogs. That's like one of my favorites. I'm using this coffee table from Seasons. Never actually used it before. It's massive. And honestly, I don't really like it that much, but it definitely fits with like this whole wood aesthetic we're going with. So I shrunk it down, so then I had to alt place the tea set on top because obviously it would have been too high otherwise. So I just lowered it a little bit using the brackets on my keyboard. I have a move objects cheat on. And now we're just going to make this place cozy. So I'm just like playing around with the orientation of all of the stuff in here just to try and make it a bit more cozy. I go ahead and change it all later anyway. And I put a little TV here just for like functionality, and also it's like kind of an old TV. I've really been enjoying putting like older TVs on top of fireplaces recently. Like I've really been trying to stray away, I guess, from like the big modern TVs. I don't know, I've just really been liking like the old TVs. I put this werewolves lamp here. I actually really love this werewolves lamp. I use it quite often. I changed it out for a Seasons lamp. I know that I use the werewolf lamp upstairs though. And I'm putting like a little rustic hallway table from Cats and Dogs behind the sofa. That's like one of my favourite tables in the game. I love that one from Cats and Dogs. It's so freaking cute, and it's just like perfect because you can like clutter on top of it, you can clutter underneath it. Honestly, I use it in so many different builds. I'm just seeing if there's anything from Seasons because again, I know the wood will match, but again, I don't really like any of the stuff from Seasons, to be completely honest. So I decided to just stick with my Cats and Dogs hallway table that I love. And now we're putting in a little dining area. We're using this little round table with the tablecloth from Cats and Dogs. No, from Cottage Living, because it's so cute. And I'm using the matching chairs to the bar stools from Cats and Dogs. And I just went ahead and changed the swatches back to dark brown because at some point I changed them to white. But I decided I really wanted it to be like dark in here. I found this little thing from Seasons with like leaves on it and acorns. And I was just like, I need to have it. So I put that outside, and then I think I changed it with this little rug from Cats and Dogs. So I'm basically just using those two different rugs like all around all of the different doorways, the ones with the leaves and the woven one from Cats and Dogs, because I think woven stuff will work really, really well here, sort of like those natural like wood textures. I was trying to see what rug I wanted to use, so I was going in with this one from Werewolves, but I believe I decided to use like the tattered version from Werewolves, just because like I really like the way that it looks. Like I know it's called tattered, but I don't know, I like it. I get like vibes from it, like good vibes from it. I don't know what that means. I'm putting some owls on there because honestly, like you're in the middle of the forest, there's gonna be owls. I also put this cute little like barrel with the bunny on top, even though I think it's meant to be for like a pub. I just really like it. And I put a little dog statue on top of the fireplace because you're meant to have a little doggy. I did debate putting these scouting trophies, but I figured that like maybe if you wanted gameplay, maybe you didn't want the actual trophies already, so I decided not to put them. But it would make sense if a sim that lived here was a scout. I'm finding like a bunch of different gnomes that I want to put outside. I end up not keeping them all, like I end up deleting a bunch of the gnomes, sadly. Rest in peace, Mr. Gnomies. But I really wanted it to be like a cute little gnome place. I don't know why. I also added a bunch of different chickens. I pulled out Patchy. I end up deleting him later on. And for some reason, I decided to put in like a little antique typewriter, even though we don't even have a computer in this build. But I was envisioning that maybe this person that lives here could be like a writer. I do add in an easel later on, and I think that they could also be like a painter, but I think they're going to be like a creative sim. And so I could see them also being like a writer, but maybe they just write like books like on paper, like the old fashioned way. Maybe they don't need a computer. Obviously they don't play The Sims 4. But I'm just making a little creativity area on this balcony so the sim can sit there and paint the beautiful trees. And yeah, I'm just like messing around with it and seeing what works. I'm using that like artist supply table. I believe it's an unlockable from either like the artist career or just from like reaching a certain level of being a painter or whatever. So yeah, I just put that there. Okay, now we are finishing off the bedroom. I needed to figure out what sort of lamp I wanted, so I did use a couple different like candle things, but in the end I settled on a lamp from Growing Together. It is this lamp I've just put on. I change it for a Seasons one, but I go back to the Growing Together ones because again, the Seasons one doesn't have any good freaking swatches. Like honestly, look at them. So yeah, this one from Growing Together I really like I mentioned, I really love all the woven features of the Growing Together stuff, like the bed, the lamp, the dressing, I was gonna call it a dressing table, the dresser. I went ahead and used these lights from Jungle Adventure. I really like them. The only annoying thing about them is that in live mode, when you go close to them, there's just like little flames that just sort of stay animated, because I guess they're like candles. But yeah, that is a bit annoying. So now I'm going through and looking through everything in the werewolves pack, and I'm just picking out anything that I think could work here. And this is when I start to go a little bit more werewolvesy. These pictures, oh my god, there's some beautiful swatches hiding behind that first picture. I had no idea. I'd never used this painting before. And then one day I was just looking through the swatches. I think I typed in like pink or purple in the colour filter, and they came up, and I was just like blown away. There's these beautiful like butterfly pictures and like flower pictures, and they're just so cute. So much cute stuff is hidden behind that first swatch. I realised I didn't do it in my other walkthrough, because I had, like I mentioned, I'd already filmed this video once. So that must have been the walkthrough from the original video. But what I did want to show you is I wanted to show you, like, I made like a little dumping area in the back. That sounds really bad, but I thought it would be cool. So let's just go into, no, that is forgotten. Hold on, I always get them confused. Let's go into Moonwood Mill, and then this is my lot here, so you can see that it is like tree heaven. So if we play, so this is what it looks like. So you can see I added quite a bit more work to it. I hate when it does this. Let me just go into tab mode. So you can see I added quite a bit more work to it. I added some like plants from Jungle Adventure on the roof. I added so many trees around from Werewolves Debug. Those like tree stumps are from Werewolves Debug. There's some rocks from Werewolves Debugs. These stones are from just normal debug, like base game debug. There's flowers everywhere. There's like a little garden area back here with like a little cats and dogs picnic table. There's the lichen you a lot love see. Adorable. And yeah, like I mentioned, there's not really a lot of like a front garden or a back garden, but there's at least a place to eat, and you are like surrounded by this beautiful forest. Like this would be an ideal place to live. Why is there like a chain link fence there? Anywho, and then the other thing that I wanted to show you was this. So obviously we live right off of like a road. You can see it there, like a little dirt road that sort of like leads into the forest. So I thought it would be a nice place to add a little bit of like a dumping ground. So I found all of this stuff from like Werewolves Debug, and I just like put it here to make it look like someone was like fly tipping as they were like driving past the road. And I don't know, it's just like a little detail, but I really like it. And yeah, I really like the way that this whole house, cabin, whatever, let me go over it. And yeah, I really like the way that this whole house, cabin, whatever turned out. I just think it's so cute, and it's kind of different to a lot of stuff that I normally build. So yeah, I hope that you enjoyed this video. If you did, please do give it a thumbs up. It helps me out a lot. Subscribe if you haven't already, because I'm just on the Sims train now, and we are just doing Sims videos over here. And yeah, I hope you enjoyed this video. I think I've already said that. Thank you for hanging out with me, and I'll see you in the next one.